continuing the funding of countries that don't like us. Hillary Clinton just signed off and requested from the president an additional $500 million to Palestine. And we know that they don't care for us, and we know that they harbor Hezbollah. Hezbollah is infiltrating our borders. They're coming in through Mexico to kill Americans. Why we would give them additional funding to do that, it's beyond the pale. Why do we give the United Nations $7.5 billion a year when we know that they have an anti-American stance? With our dollars, we should promote freedom and liberty here at home and then around the world. We should only embrace those nations that embrace democracy. That should be our test. If they do not embrace democracy, freedom, and liberty for their people, they will not embrace the U.S. currency, courtesy of the United States government, courtesy of the American taxpayer.
The same question to Eddie Hendry. In view of America's tremendous national debt, why do we continue giving foreign aid to over 125 countries?
I'll get to that question in just a second.
I thought you would.
I got a rebuttal for Mrs. Berryhill, and I respect your son's service, but there is no war that is unwinnable as long as the United States of America is involved. And I don't, that blows my mind that you would insinuate something like that. All wars are winnable if you get behind it. All right, foreign aid. We waste more money sending off to Africa and other countries. The warlords take it all over. We need to stop that completely. You can only throw money at a problem for so long, then you have to start throwing solutions to it. And that's what we need to do. And they need to start pulling themselves up by the bootstraps and helping themselves out. They have a lot of the same resources that we have. They just don't have a democracy like we have, or a republic, I should say. The way that we get away from our debt is we've got to grow out of it, like I said before. We've got to lower the tax rates, and we've got to be able to curtail this spending and freeze it and balance the budget. Thank you.
Our next question goes to candidate Ron McNeil. Do you support legislation that is being considered that would exempt income tax from those who receive claim payments from BP? Please explain your answer in detail.
Well, first of all, I guess it's pretty providential that my draw put me the biggest person between these two little bad roosters. I'll try to keep us safe, folks. Anyway, just repeat that question. I got all
Do you support legislation that is being considered that would exempt income tax from those who receive claim payments from BP?
Not really, actually. I go back and forth. I spend about 25% of my time. I just run a 90-day campaign, by the way. All these folks have been running since last October. I don't have time for that. I'm running 90 days. I want everybody to know me before the 90 days is up. We'll take one poll at the end of it. It's August 24th. But because people over there in Louisiana, for example, they'll have a 25, 28-foot boat. They get $1,500 a day for that thing to sit there. And they may take somebody out to the oil spill thing, they may not. So they're making income off of that they might have made by renting it or taking somebody fishing or whatever. So if they're actually making money from either the cleanup or from how they've been damaged, that is replacing that income that they didn't have. Now, BP's doing a lot of bad things over there. I want to tell you one quick thing. I know I've got 2 seconds here. Is within 6 hours of that explosion, BP sent in helicopters and flew all their people off that rig. There's a lot of things going on there that you don't know about. I'm right in the middle of solving a lot of problems on that oil spill.
The same question to Diane Berryhill. Do you support legislation that is being considered that would exempt income tax from those who receive claim payments from BP? And be nice.
Well, I will get to it. Before I get to that, no. In some consideration, because I know we already have fraud claims being looked at in some areas of this district that started within a week and a half of this starting. Because some people were going down, they were giving you something like $2,000 for if you had one type of fishing license, $5,000 for another one. So people figured out they could go down and pay about $100 for a commercial fishing license, come back and make the claim, and they figured out that wasn't such a good idea. So I think we need to look at that, and if they have really been harmed and really have had a problem, yes. And Eddie, I did not say America could not win. I said we are in an area where if you talk to the military over there, they will tell you we are in an unwinnable war over there because of the rules of engagement. And until they change that, nothing will be solved. And you know what? If you think you can do better, why don't you go over there? You've been in the military before. I'm too old. But I think you go over there and solve this war because I want to find the other people.
Thank you. Moving right along.
We hope.
Our next question to Paul McCain. Same question. Do you support legislation that is being considered that would exempt income tax from those who receive claim payments from BP?
Absolutely, I don't think they should be taxed, to be very honest with you. The government has been after these people for a long time. They've really negatively impacted the fishing industry for years. That affects them. Everything associated with that is being negatively impacted. They've been out to stop the extraction of oil for a long time. Got the documents, if you'd like to come to my table, I can give them to you. They were going to do this. This is what they were shooting for. They've been out to, these people have been on their hit list for a long time. So right now, the way I'm looking at it, if they're actually recouping some of this loss that they have been dealing with for a few years now, I say let them have it. Let them have it without the tax. But I got to say something to Eddie, too. You know, it's not, I hate the way he groups people here. You know, the bottom line is, we did win that war. There's been a regime change in both countries. So what are we looking for now? The regime has been done. It's been done. It's finished. So, I mean, now it's up to them to do it.
Our next question to Steve Sutherland. What changes would you propose for campaign finance reform?
I believe when it comes to campaign finance reform, if you follow the money, that's the biggest problem with Washington, D.C. You know, of course, I don't like the Wrangles and some of the people that David mentioned, but I got to tell you something. Names like Cantor, names like Paul Ryan, we're talking about men that unbelievably understand the issues. And for some of those states not to be able to send incredible men of experience. When I fly a plane, or when I'm riding a plane, I want the most experienced pilot flying that plane. When I have somebody that did brain surgery on me, I want the most experienced brain surgeon operating on me. I think you have to follow the money. Money up there would take care of much of the lobbyist problem. That would also take care of the candidates being paid off. So if you follow the money, campaign finance reform would not just eliminate politicians on the take, but it would also neuter in some ways the lobbyists and their ability to sway votes. So I think that we need to knock out two things at one time. So I'm greatly in favor of following the money.
Did you want to say anything to Eddie Hendrick?
I'll hold.
Next question to Paul McCain. What is your solution to funding shortfalls facing Social Security and Medicare, and what would you propose if elected?
I've got a solution. I've actually got it written up. If anybody wants to see it in the back, it's obviously way too long to go between these lights here. But really what we need to do, in my opinion, is we do have to wean ourselves off of Social Security. Now, the plan that I've got written really quickly, too quickly, people start paying less into it. The younger you are, the less you pay into it, then the less you're going to get out of it still. But there has to be a fund set up in place for that. Three counties in Texas did this already. They withdrew from the Social Security system. I just saw the chart today. They are collecting now 5 times per month the amount of money they would have collected in the Social Security system, and that is through this recession. So, without a doubt, we need to get on a fund that will actually, and believe me, on these funds, you own it too. So if something happens to you, your family gets it. Unlike Social Security, you own that, and that is very necessary.
The same question to Diane Berryhill. What is your solution to funding shortfalls facing Social Security and Medicare? What would you propose if elected?
Okay, well, with